If James ever wore a suit like Brian Windhurst had on right now, we'd have to discuss James' employment. Like Brian Windhurst, just, just, it's like he pulled it straight off the rack, didn't try it on, just left the store.
And it wasn't even the right
It
size.
was just
When he pulled it
completely
off the
wrong
rack, it was just
size.
back Burlington Coat factory days. Just, I like it. Just give me this one. I don't care if it's a 52.
Well, that's I used to do that at Marshalls and Ross.
Know your lane.
I would do that at Burlington. Oh, NBA patch jeans are here, huh? 54. I'll take it.
Nah, patch jeans. I never got those. Give me the FUBU with the Fat Albert on it. What's up, Hammer? You ever have any FUBU with Fat Albert on it?
No.
Any FUBU?
No.
Okay. Fat Farm.
No.
Aniche.
Echo. I know you have some Echo.
Pele?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I have like Biggity Blake asks in the chat house, brought to you by Matthews Mattresses.
Very good.
That have I seen every episode of The Office? And it sounds like Brian Windhorst may be wearing a woman's suit off the.
That's very good. You're almost there. You're not there yet. No, you're not almost there. You're a ways away. That's a few. See, Kenny, for the first time, I think ever, watched 2 episodes of the.
I just finished season 1.
No, okay, don't do that. It took you 3 years to finish season 1. What I was gonna say is, I think
1 is 6 episodes.
I know. I think Kenny watched 2 episodes of The Office in the same day for the first time ever.
I could literally get to season 2 by tomorrow, like midway through, maybe even done with season 2 by tomorrow. Just
There's a lot of things I gotta watch sometimes. Nah, man, this is a shoot, man. Come on, man.
No, shout out to Ben. Shout out to Ben, who's
I don't even remember when this happened.
Ben's stuck in a time warp somewhere around the pimp juice conversation at 12:30. Shout out to our man Ben. We appreciate Ben just got done commenting on stuff that happened on the Insiders at 10 o'clock. He's catching up. He's catching up.
Wow.
Hammer, we had a really lengthy discussion about the NBA playoffs this year and whether the league is missing LeBron, the Lakers, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, guys like that. Where do you weigh in on that?
No, I mean, this is life after those guys. I mean, that the day is coming when those guys are gone. I mean, the day is here. Like, look where we're at. Like, those guys will be around the league for another 2 or 3 years. But like, this is what's next. And it's Anthony Edwards. It's Tyrese Halliburton. It's, Jalen Brunson. Like, this is what's next. It's Luka Doncic, like we talked a lot about this on the Insiders earlier today. I've always been harsh on Luka because I don't like the chirping at the officials and the complaining and the crybaby face all the time and the foul grifting. But that doesn't mean he's not an incredible player. And, again, he's 25 years old. We're seeing a guy who's in his 6th NBA season, and it took LeBron 9 seasons to win a title. It took Michael Jordan like 8 seasons to win a title. And I don't know that Luka will get there, but I'm going to assume that he will. But this is the new NBA. This is the face of the league. This is how the style of play that everybody wants to see. And I'm kind of here for it.
One of the things that I had talked about though, James, and I was trying to work through my thoughts with this is what I compared this for in the Western Conference specifically to be is I said this for because of the cities that they're in and really the lack of history that these franchises have. I said this is the AFC South of the NBA. And what I mean by that is, does anybody ever care about AFC South anything? Like, nobody really cares. They have great players. Like, Derrick Henry was there and was phenomenal. When he was a great player, Deshaun Watson was in the AFC South. Yeah. CJ Stroud looks like he's going to be a great player. Where does the AFC South champion always play on Wild Card Weekend? 12:30 on Saturday. because nobody
on the NFL Network.
because nobody really cares. And I feel like, and a lot of that has to do with, I think literally they're like the last division that's ever been in the NFL. So like there with that comes, there's just not any history there. Like you don't have not passionate fan bases, but like wide ranging fan bases. And,
worldwide,
worldwide, countrywide, things of that nature, and history, things to fall back on. Like, oh man, I remember in '88 when I was watching the Titans in the playoffs and da 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 da. Like, come on, man, that's crazy. But, like, I feel like that's what's going on here. Guys like all three of us, it doesn't matter for us because we love the basketball. Like we love basketball. But when I say missing a little something, I do feel like they might be missing something because there's not a lot of lineage in the Western Conference particular. And you don't have to have all four with lineage, but it's kind of tough when none of the four have lineage.
No, I get what you're saying, but like I just want to watch good basketball, like and I think that that's what we're seeing, and I think we're seeing young teams that are upstart, but they're not being caught up in the moment, and they're playing really well. And I think we're seeing like the next generation of players. Like I'm okay with OKC being a NBA powerhouse for the next decade. And because I don't care about television markets and television ratings nearly as much as some of the people that on the mothership are. And so I'm here for again, Minnesota. Minnesota hasn't been in the NBA all that long. It's what, 30 years now, probably. But again, it's about the team and the players that they have today. And what are they going to do? Like, what is Anthony Edwards going to do on a Wednesday night that may or may not be the talk of the NBA the next day? And so I'm here for it. Like again, I think people who don't want to watch the Sacramento Kings in like the playoffs, those are people who don't watch the Sacramento Kings and don't know how much fun they are to watch play, and don't know how talented De'Aaron Fox is or Domantas Sabonis. And like if you just again follow Sabonis's career, drafted by Orlando but never played there, plays for OKC, plays for Indiana, plays for Sacramento. Like part of the reason he didn't make the All-Star team is because his entire career is in obscurity. It's in these small markets. So I'm here for the small markets to sort of live up to the big moment. And, I still think it's going to be Boston series to win, but, and they're the biggest of the big. And of course, you've got the Knicks still in it. So I still think there's enough flavor. But yeah, I'm here for talent. I'm not here for, who thinks it should be on what channel on a Saturday afternoon or on a Sunday morning. What was that all about? We watched a game 7 at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Crazy.
Yeah. So and I agree, but now and James, you know this as good as anybody. You know the business of basketball as
The
good.
business of basketball. Yes, I do. I do.
Do you think the NBA would want? And I'm not saying fixing anything or nothing like that, but would they want these same 4 teams in here again? Like I said, you don't have to have 4 New York's, LA, da 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 da. But I don't know if you want these 4. You want at least one of these teams to be a big market or a legacy franchise.
No, I get you, but to be honest, again, I don't care what the NBA wants. As a fan of the game, I want the best teams on the court. And
So what
whether that
about like casuals though? That was our point earlier is you're watching, I'm watching. If you're listening to this, you're watching and you're having a blast, but numbers are down a little bit. And the only thing we can draw that to is because we've got the Anthony Edwards, we've got the Minnesotas, we've got New York, we've got the point guard Tyrese Halliburton and his 6 shots. We've got all of that. That was hate. I'm sorry, Ty. That was hate. But it's like, well, somebody fell off somewhere, and it feels like it's well, where's LeBron? Where's the Lakers? Well, where's Steph? Oh, he's not there either. Oh, okay. There's no, and this was the term we were using earlier, James. There's no love or hate for the casual fan with the teams that are left right now, with Boston being an exception. Maybe New York, sort of New York. They're on their way back up, but like it's still New York. but the love and hate that you have for guys like LeBron or teams like the Lakers or guys like Steph or teams like the Warriors, that doesn't exist with Ant-Man and the Timberwolves or SGA and that crew in Oklahoma City.
Well, yeah, but that's on the NBA. That's on their partners to stop overshadowing and overweighting all of what they do to a couple gigantic markets of casuals. Like again, that like
Casuals pay
you're
the bills, though. Like,
yeah. Well, I
like
guess
we like to say that, like,
Mhm.
but casuals pay the bills.
Mhm.
I know that as a
I know what you
boxing
mean.
fan.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big boxing community that loves boxing, but the numbers go through the roof when you get two guys that casuals know. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you pay the bills, is you have to get the casuals. The hardcore audience ain't gonna pay the bills.
yeah, but here's the problem. The casuals would care about SGA and they would care about Ant-Man if it wasn't just so heavily weighted towards those other teams every single day of the year. That's why I think you have to rethink the way that you package the sports center culture that we live in. And that is you can't just when LeBron James and Anthony Davis get curb stomped by the Sacramento Kings on a Wednesday night, you can't roll tape that's 40 seconds long and of that it's 8 seconds of the winner and 32 seconds of two guys that just got their butts kicked. And that again, it's on the ESPN culture that's been created. So maybe you do have to figure that out because the next group of players and the next group of teams that are coming through, we can all see it. We can see who it is. OKC is going to be dominant for a decade. Like whether they win one championship or five championships, I don't know, but they're going to be a phenomenal team for a decade. And you can say the same thing about OKC, about Minnesota. Like there are a lot of teams that are up and coming that it's the league's fault that they've established the culture this way where we're so star driven and so Lakers driven.
I don't
But
think it's the league's fault. I think you were onto something about you called it the sports center culture. I
Yeah.
think you're onto
yeah,
something with that more so than the league.
well, no, the league is partnered with them to do this. I mean,
Yeah,
in
but I
my
don't think
opinion.
they're not in on the get up meeting every morning at 3 a.m. planning, the 20-minute Lakers segment. I don't think the league is a part of that. That's ESPN's going, how can we quench the thirst of a fan base that their team sucks?
And I'll ask both of you guys this. I'll use another sport as an example, right? Like, we all hate, like, oh my gosh. Well, the people that care. Oh my gosh. Sunday night baseball, Red Sox, Yankees again. Nobody wants to watch this. Yet, it's like the highest rated Sunday night baseball every time. And it's the same thing with like Lakers, Warriors. I don't want to, like, Good Kid Dad City says here, we don't need to see 40 nationally televised Warriors games a year. Probably along with the Lakers, the highest rated games every year.
Yeah.
So I don't want to watch that. I'm not necessarily, I'd rather see the other ones, but the numbers are speaking. Like, if people wanted to see the Nuggets are a bad example because I think we've already got our answer with them. Nobody cares about the Nuggets at this point. They've been good for years now. Still nobody cares. But if people wanted to see the Nuggets that bad, when they are on, people would tap in, and they don't. Not to the levels of the Lakers and the Warriors.
I get that, but again, I think it's on the league and to educate fans about, every team and the great players that are on the league. I mean, we talked a lot about Howard Beck's article today in the Ringer about Luka Doncic and how, despite his incredible stats, how he's not impactful to winning. Like for his career, he is a +1 in the on and off court box, which means that his team is only 1 point per game worse when he's off the court than when he's on it. And you got a guy like Jokic who's like a +13.6 for his career. And it again, like the article is really interesting to read. The only player who's been in the top 5 in MVP balloting over the last 20 years with a lower like plus minus box is Derrick Rose. And we can all understand why Derrick Rose is because he started off his career great and then he had all kinds of injury problems, and it ate away his career. But like, it's on the league, it's on their partners to make sure that they're sort of sharing the wealth of this. And like, look, we can talk like the league does want great players in big markets, sure, but it can't be always about that. And, again, like I think LeBron playing for Cleveland kind of broke the mold a little bit because that's not a major market and nobody wants to go to Cleveland, let alone, like watch a whole bunch of Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. Um, but they also represented the Eastern Conference 4 straight years in the finals. And so you stopped worrying about what city it was and you started being more concerned about how great the players were on the court. And that's where I think the league needs to go to.
You have any takeaways? We talked a lot about Oklahoma City today. Do you have any dramatic takeaways from game 1 last night between the Thunder and the Mavericks?
Yeah, I mean, the Thunder are really good. I mean, I thought this was going to be a little bit of an issue because I don't know that Dallas has a bunch of players to throw at SGA, and I do know that uh, that OKC has a ton of players they can throw at Luka and see what works. And it's not always going to work, but if you can throw Lou Dort on him for a little while, you can throw SGA on him, you can throw Jalen Williams on him. You can just mix and match all game long. I did think that Kyrie would have had a bigger impact on the game, but again, like I think one team was ready and one team wasn't, and OKC's got a really good shot to make it to the Western Conference Finals, and like so does Minnesota. And like, who thought that we would ever think that that would be a possibility a couple of weeks ago, or even last week, that we could see these two teams representing the West? But it's very possible. And you know what? I think it's good for the league. It's good to have fresh blood in there. It's good for everybody to get exposure to Anthony Edwards. But as far as Dallas, I mean, like, look, Luka is always going to be a difficult a difficult player to build a team around, and you see why. There are games like that where his struggle becomes the entire team struggle because he's created a system there where everyone is waiting for him to bail them out. And when he can't, that's a problem. And he needs to rely on his teammates more. And, like hollow assists happen in the NBA. He needs to be a guy who's actively looking to make his teammates better from the jump next time out, or they're going to get smoked in that series, just like Denver's getting smoked in their series.
We asked this question too. You watch every team in the league multiple times and everything. Is Luka the worst defender in the NBA?
No, come on now. Trae Young exists.
All right, is
Come
the
on.
second worst?
He's up there. Yeah.
We narrowed it down to 3. Well, KC narrowed it down to 3.
Well, I saw.
Oh no, Dame is up there.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What I do? You did?
I didn't put his name in there. I said that's what people were saying.
Oh, the streets.
There's some people say.
My mentions. My mentions.
Tyrese was the.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen what they're doing in that series. They're hunting that dude. I mean, that's not good. I mean, I even saw, like, there was a point where DiVincenzo came to set a screen, and so they could get the switch on the Halliburton, and you watch the Pacers just like run away from the screen, so they wouldn't have to, get a switch, and the Knicks are going to take advantage of that the whole time. I definitely think that Indiana is overmatched in the series, although. If the Knicks decide to keep doing this crazy run and gun thing and let and play to Indiana style, then they're going to leave them in the series. To me, that doesn't make any sense. They should just club those guys, just beat them in the same way that they beat everybody else, like grit and grind them to nothing and play Thibodeau basketball. And to me, watching them run up and down the court, and even they do those weird interviews inside the game, which I don't understand at all, like who signed off on that still. But they interviewed, I think, Josh Hart, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we want to run." It's like, bro, you do not want like, no,
Okay,
you
Josh.
don't.
Josh, you played 48 minutes, bro. I don't know you're gonna be able to do that 7 times. Oh,
No.
that's what you do.
No, you do it 7 times. You know what you look like? You look like Donovan Mitchell in the next round.
Oh yeah, he did
Just
look
worn out.
gassed tonight.
Yeah.
He looked gassed. But Casey brought up a great point. They did play in a game 7, an emotional game 7 that they really had to fight in that second half. And let's not forget what Donovan did in game 6 either.
That was crazy.
It was definitely
That's the other side.
It was almost like
overshadowed by Drake.
It was yeah, right. Yeah, right. It was almost like Donovan had to come up for air in game 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it should be noted, the Cavs played a really, really tight game 7, right? And then they had one day off, and that one day was a travel day to Boston. And and the Celtics had 5 days off. They're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. That seemed a little unfair. And like you saw it in
Well,
the third quarter with Mitchell like trying to fight through, and all of a sudden, like, oh no, he's got no legs left at all.
I mean, we can't argue fair or not. Like that's how the NBA playoffs work. But this is also the best team in the league. No matter
Oh,
how
yeah.
much anyone didn't want to talk about them this year, and they wanted to talk about Jokic or Denver, or they wanted to talk about the young teams like Minnesota and OKC, like that's fine. You wanted to talk about the drama in Milwaukee instead. Salute. You wanted to talk about the hysteria in New York. Great. Let's not forget the best team in the league all year from jump was the Boston Celtics.
I agree 100%.
And it was never close.
No. I mean, they were 12 or 13 games better than the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that the Chatty House brought to you by Matthews Mattresses is doing nothing but mentioning the worst defenders in the league. Shout out to Jordan Poole.
Well,
So,
yeah, no, Jordan
Poole's
Poole,
up
yeah,
there. He's up there for sure.
He's up there. Don't want to leave Jordan Poole out of this conversation.
no, we don't want to leave Jordan Poole. We don't want to leave Dame Lillard. Like there's a few guys out there.
Man. Trista Ham here getting a Dame Lillard shot in.
Come on now.
Yeah, Luka's up there.
Oh, no, yeah, no doubt.
Luka's awful.
Yeah,
I've seen some clips of him where there's a reason why.
It's a fatal 4-way match right now for those guys.
There's a reason why I said last week, I said the guy works harder on trying to avoid the switch on a pick and roll than he actually does on defense. There's a reason why I said that.
Yeah, I remember watching him against the Kings, and he was just kind of like chasing De'Aaron Fox, like trying to slap at his back. Like, what are you doing? I mean, if you're not going to try, then like stop touching somebody. Like, what are we doing? Like, just go ahead and let him go. Yeah,
James, we've been over this before.
Yeah,
can't touch people on the basketball court.
What they say on the insiders? Oh no,
we don't have the soundboard. I don't have Kyle's soundboard pulled
we
up.
don't touch other people's bleep. Yeah, got it.
What was the context of that again? Who was that? Was that it? I'm sure it was Draymond. Who was that again?
Oh yeah, I think it was Draymond.
Of course,
it was Draymond. Oh, it was Draymond, or there was someone else. There was someone else who did. Oh, maybe it was either Draymond or it was Dylan Brooks. It might have been.
Dylan I think it was Dylan Brooks. I think
we
about
don't
it. I think it was
touch
Dylan.
other people's privates.
Yeah,
there it is.
Oh, you got it, Jesse. Jesse's got
Thank
it.
You.
Oh, that was it. Oh, I thought that
it.
was James. Oh, that was it. Oh, that was
no,
good.
it was James, just not today.
That was recorded James. It was good. All right, very good, very good. We'll come back. We'll talk more basketball. We'll talk Kings. Steele and KC here on Sacramento.
Wonder what James has to say about the picture.
Oh, good question. The picture heard round Sacramento. We'll get that for you here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
I don't know what picture you're talking about.
I don't know what. I need to go check in with Complex.
We'll break it down. During the next one.
There's a Keegan Murray picture or what?
Malik went golfing with Vivek and those guys.
Oh.
Hey, Kimberly did a great job. Great job. She didn't even cuss at me.
What? Where did BBL jersey come from?
1 second, guys.
The Oakland A's won the first half of the doubleheader.
Lord, I needed that. Oh my God, I needed that.
Where is the other DJ?
I still don't see the picture.
Vivek?
Is it on Vivek's?
It's on Vivek's
It's on
Twitter.
Vivek's Twitter. I'm sure it's on his IG. I didn't check, but it's on Vivek's Twitter.
Let me see. Oh, so we got Wes, we got Monty, we got Alvin Gentry, we got Keegan fake smiling, and Mike Brown. Huh.
That because then we'll have the second intro in the block to do the other one.
All right.
Jason, I don't think it's the league. I just think it's the way those shows like Sports Center and I just think it's the way they plan their shows. I don't think it's the league.
I don't think it's the league either. I do think the league and I think the NBA might be the best at it. They understand you got to have both. Like, I don't think they would want what they have right now moving forward. Like these 4 markets and stuff. Like,
Well, no, I don't think they would, but like,
I don't think that's best for business though. I think the mixture. David Stern always loved Sacramento and LA. Like, he'd always like that's to me. I feel like that was the sweet spot because he embraced those small markets and he loved them. But you got the larger markets and the lineage franchises.
We're coming back, Hammer. All right, we're back here with James Ham of the Insiders, which, of course, you can catch here Monday through Friday. James Ham, Kyle Madsen, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Hammer, I know you were checking it out during a commercial break. The picture heard round Sacramento. TC called, and he said, hey, this is Vivek telling everybody, I'm going to pay Malik. I'm going to pay Mike. I'm going to extend Keegan right now. This is Vivek sending all sorts of messages to the universe about what time it is here in Sacramento.
That's right.
James, as the Kings insider, did you get those same vibes that TC got?
well, I definitely get the vibe that the Kings are putting the full court press on Malik Monk. They're going to make sure he feels like he is loved here and that there's going to probably be 1 or 2 teams out there that are willing to offer more money, but the Kings will take care of that eventually if he stays here short term, and then they have his Larry Bird rights and can do something more dramatic 2 years from now. That's what to me, it really does look like this is it's good that they're all together, right? It's very good that they're all out there together. And that's how you do this. You've got to show them love all the time. You've got to sit there and like go overboard. And there are a lot of things about Sacramento that Malik really likes. So the fact that Malik is out there golfing, Malik has taken up golfing over the last few years. He loves Sacramento's golf courses. He's all over the place. And so that is a plus for Sacramento. The weather's a plus for Sacramento. The fact that De'Aaron's here is a plus. Mike Brown and his staff, and the fact that Monty and Wes saw this vision for Malik that maybe someone else didn't, and Mike was able to help him realize that. Like this is what you do. You continuously remind him, and maybe Vivek buys the golf course and names it the Malik Monk, golf course, and whatever you got to do. This is like when the Maloofs did the big giant billboard for Chris Webber, we'll mow your lawn. That's where the Kings are at with Malik Monk, because he means that much to the franchise right now. And look, it's good. It's good that he's here. It's good that he's still part of the family and hanging out. I would just hate to learn that Vivek took this picture like a month ago and has been waiting and then just put it out there today just to mess with all of us. Be like, come on,
I was
bro.
going to say, we don't know where they're at. It doesn't mean they're here. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, they could be anywhere. I don't think they all flew to like Arkansas.
Well, I don't know what the golf courses are like in Arkansas, but they have the means to go wherever they want to. But we didn't have to go that extreme. They could have been in the Bay Area. They could have been in like Walnut Creek or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's where Malik is from, is Arkansas.
Well, if they all went to Arkansas, that's an even bigger deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're bringing Mike. We're bring Keegan and bring
Got
Alvin.
on our private jet.
We're not doing anything without Alvin.
Don't forget Alvin.
I hope Alvin has a lifetime contract here.
You should always bring Alvin.
I want Alvin here forever.
Yes. Would you?
I do too.
Look, I was going to ask you, James. Alvin's is he just going to be here forever?
I hope so, man. He's an OG. I know he's talked about how much longer he's going to do this. He doesn't know, but he's loving what he's doing right now.
What?
I was about to say.
What? He's vibing.
Live and be Alvin Gentry. I hope he does that forever.
What is he doing? He's just walking around the court, holding court everywhere he stops.
Being the man everywhere he goes.
Talk about how much. I don't know how much longer I can take this, sir.
Sir, you are really popular. I love when I was sitting courtside with him one day, and the Kings were going to play Toronto that night, and he goes, "Oh, hey, hang on one sec. He gets up, walks right across the court, right over to OG Anunoby, and just starts talking to him. And that's where I'm like, again, Vivek and Monty and Wes, and they have to be super cautious about promises and, what they can potentially do down the road for Malik after a 2-year deal and the potential money. And then you could just see Alvin be like, "Hey, I don't work for you guys today. I'll be right back." Like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do, bro. This is what
Alvin under the table." Just hand Alvin an envelope of cash every day.
Hey, man, does Alvin just need an assistant, man? I'll be his assistant.
Yo,
just hang around him, man. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even get a business card because you don't actually have a job title. You just do whatever Alvin needs you to do.
Even Mark Cuban just curators.
Just vibing.
I'm such a huge fan of Alvin. Like, really, like every single time I see him, he's just like a fun guy. And he also he appreciated the coverage when he was here. We were fair with him, even though he was in a very, very tough situation.
Terrible spot.
Yeah, he was. He was in a horrible situation, but he was really cool about it, and we were cool with him, and we all understood that everyone had a job to do. And so he's always been good to us after the fact. And yeah, I'm a big Alvin Gentry guy now.
He was the coach when Domas was traded, right? That was him.
Mm-hmm.
Luke was gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was Alvin. Okay. Because that was later. Yeah, I can't remember Was it 17? It was early in the season when Luke was fired.
Yeah,
right?
17 games in.
Yeah, wow. That guy
Yeah.
puked all over the court. That was crazy.
Yeah,
That
guy-
was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I remember
I remember that
I
night.
remember Sean's video. Someone just threw up at half court. And of course, Sean is just insanely quick. Sean, by the way, like it's not like he's recording with his phone. He's recording with this massive, probably like $100,000 camera. But somehow him and Matt George are great with this. They get these videos edited and on their, Twitter accounts like lightning quick. And yeah, someone just threw up at center court. What? 10 seconds later, here's Sean's video. Oh, great.
The crazy thing about that game is I was watching, there was a fight on that night. So the fight was on the TV. I had the Kings game on the iPad. And I'd go back and forth and look at the score, and I think it got progressively worse. Like they were down like 18, 20, 25 or whatever. And when it got to like 25, like I just kind of stopped really paying attention. And I would go check back at the score every now and then, and it was still 20. All right, let me go back to the fight. After this round, 3 minutes later, I go back, still 20, same score. Another round goes by, I come back. Yo, what's going on? I see Donovan Mitchell just talk like, what is going on? And then I go to Twitter, open it up to try to see like what's going on. And there's the guy sitting
Not
there.
only did you see what was going on, you saw what Brody had for lunch, dinner, breakfast.
They tried to help him off the court, and that got loose. He was falling down all over the place. Like it was a wild scene.
He's just sitting there too, like
He was at one point. He was sitting there, literally just going, just like still puking, still right down the front of himself. It was right below us. Like Sean, like sits either on my left or on my right. It just depends on the game. But we sit next to each other every game. And what Sean does is he watches the action, and then as soon as something happens, he pans up to the scoreboard so he knows exactly when it is, and then back to the action. It's really fun to watch him work. And then if you're sitting between him and Matt George, Sean taught Matt how to do the same thing. So they're both like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're all recording the same thing the whole time. Yeah, that was a really interesting night. And I'll tell you, we got into the media room that night, and like Brendan was super. I mean, that's 17 games into his first season, and we got into the media room. It's all quiet. It's all awkward. He's like, what should I ask tonight? And I'm like, bro, we got this. You don't ask anything because we know what's happening. We've been here. You haven't. You don't have to ask anything because do not say, hey, about that pick and roll in the third quarter. Like, no, this is not about basketball. This is about like something really awkward and sinister is about to happen. And we got you. Me and Sean and Jason will take turns like peppering Luke until it's over. Yeah, it was wild.
I remember.
Spoiler alert, it ended.
It ended the next morning.
It ended.
Well,
because the Kings hate mothers, so they fired Luke on Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Listen to what you just said. Game 17 was on Mother's Day or the day before, but that was a wild time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing about that is I remember it was a home back-to-back. Utah was the last game. They played Toronto on that Friday because I remember I went to that game and got destroyed. They were down like 28 at the end of the first quarter. I think everybody knew then. They're like, it might be done tonight, but they have a game tomorrow, so they might just let them coach tomorrow, and this thing is going to be over within the next 72 hours. And
yeah. We all had an idea of what was about to happen. They had lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 at that point, and the only team they had beat was Detroit. And a lot of them were ugly. And then if you remember, the next game with Alvin as the head coach is a game that that Philadelphia walked in without 5 starters and bumped them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember that Friday game I'm talking about with Luke. I think there was like major do-rag De'Aaron vibes that game after that game. I think
There
I
were a
remember
lot
that.
of do-rag De'Aaron vibes.
That was the entire
They were-
pandemic.
They were Louis Vuitton do-rags, but they were still
De'Aaron was
do-rags.
pulling up in them do-rags.
Well, you have to know that, like, in the media room, we would take bets on what color his do-rag would be that night because we were stuck there for like an hour every game waiting for De'Aaron to show up. And I felt for him, but every time he would walk in the door, he'd poke his head in and someone would be a winner and we'd celebrate and then we would go on just to keep sane. It was like, it was
Was
a tough
De'Aaron
time.
ever in on the bit? Did he know that you guys were trying to guess the color of his do-rag?
Yes, he knew we knew. And he had a whole entire like hanger full of different colors. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I got my
So,
son
like,
that.
this is a weird question because it's De'Aaron Fox and he makes, $200 million a year. But does Louis Vuitton make do-rags?
I don't know.
Or was it just a Louis Vuitton pattern on a do-rag?
Yeah, man, I would think that's what it would be. No shade. I mean,
we
know if Louis Vuitton did make do-rags, he could get one. But,
Yeah, but
I
also
don't know if they do.
think he's maybe more financially responsible than that.
It could have
You
been
gonna
like
buy-
the
you gonna-
30
you gonna buy
pack
$800
on Amazon.
do-rag?
I'm gonna find
The
out.
like the 30 pack of multicolored on Amazon that you just get a
Yeah,
whole bunch of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
my
don't
son,
know
my
what it
son
was.
got those.
I know this. I know De'Aaron's do-rags did not come from
No.
Amazon.
Well, they might have.
I don't think they did. I don't think
We-
Amazon got a
Oh, you mean the
knockoff.
Louis ones?
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah.
just a different color.
Yeah.
That got us
Well,
through
it-
plenty of really, really bad nights.
Well, there
It
were a
did.
lot of them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them, and of course, that was the birth of
Well,
all
you
right.
maybe De'Aaron got them from
Maybe.
Crown Limited Supply.
Well, no. Maybe. Well, no. That's not a hair wrap. That's a shawl.
No, what you talking about? This is a silky crown do-rag LV,
As a shoot, how much is it? $4.85.
$18.99.
$18.99. Oh, get out of here.
I'm telling you, he got a whole package of them, like a whole box sent to him.
Oh, let me see. Wait, is this? Nah, I'm about to say they.
Okay, so for the record, they don't make do-rags,
No,
but
I'm telling you, got 'em
perhaps
from-
they make
from
some
Cream
sort of.
limited supply.
I'm
Crown,
sorry.
Crown Limited
What was
Supply.
that? What was that?
Crown Limited Supply.
I'm going to the tape.
You said what?
What?
Crown Limited Supply.
No. You said I can't even say it. That's pass interference on Kenny. It's disgusting.
Oh, you guys
Oh,
are
man.
killing me.
Poor Alvin comes in, and then Alvin has to proclaim on multiple occasions that his team didn't quit. God dang it. Oh, and still, Alvin walks around smiling, having a blast, didn't leave Sacramento. And to be clear, let's also be clear about this. Alvin's contract was up. Like, it's not, he wasn't around last year because, the Kings need to pay off the last year of this deal. Like, it had ended, right? Like, he for lack of a better, like, he came back. Or am I wrong?
So I'm trying to. Okay, so Alvin had the same contract that Luke had. So he had like a year and a half left on his deal. The Kings
when he
bumped
became
him
the
up.
head coach.
I feel like
They
this
bumped him
year's
up
year
when he
he
became the head coach. But then that offseason, they converted him to the dreaded consultant, right? That none of us thought would exist. Because that's, again, what happened with Ty Corbin years ago when Ty Corbin we all thought he got the interim job, and then he didn't get the interim job. Pete D'Alessandro actually gave him a 2-year deal after they fired Michael Malone. And then that lasted like 21 games, or maybe it was 7-21 over 28 games. And then they hired George Karl the same year. And then they got to the next offseason. They were paying George Karl and Michael Malone and Ty Corbin. And then the next year, when they got rid of George, they were still paying multiple people. Like, we kept doing this. But rough.
I feel like this season was the season he came back.
The one that just ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. That's what I think too.
Yeah.
But he was here.
He was
Here.
Yeah, they worked out something.
Yeah, he
where
was
they're
here.
like, because
So it wasn't
last
just
year,
hanging around waiting for the contract to expire.
Right.
Like, whatever happened, I think last year the season that just ended was something else. Maybe that's when they started paying Alvin under the table so he could go talk to guys like OG Anunoby.
Yeah, no, Alvin is still like he's on the payroll, and I think the idea is for him to stay on the payroll.
Oh,
I
Like
hope so.
yeah, I hope so too. Like I think everybody enjoys what he brings to the table, and I think when the Kings were able to bring in Scott Perry for that like 3-month window to help Vlade, it feels a lot like that. Somebody with just like incredible amount of knowledge about the league and so many contacts and so many friends around the league that, if you need to do deep background on a player, you can have Alvin call like 4 of his friends that all worked with a player like 6 different times, and you can get a really good understanding of a player. And that's a good person to have around. It's just like an unlimited resource. And that's why I like guys like this, they're needed around the league, and I'm glad the Kings have one.
Very good. Very good. Either way, strong vibes from the Sacramento Kings community with bubble vestless Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox out there on the golf course, along with Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Mike Brown, and Vivek Ranadive. Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out of that.
No, I think you got everybody.
But it was still a little jarring seeing Monty without his vest.
It was. And Wes.
Yeah, Wes for sure, but more Monty. It's like, wow, Monty looks, I don't know. It just looks
signature.
different.
It's a signature look. Yeah. I like the vest look on those guys.
Yeah.
I think they like it too.
Real quick, Ham, before you get out of here, we get out of here. Did you make any sense of or hear anything about how this California Classic played out?
I have not checked into it at all. I'm very confused by how it's all going to work. I don't understand how you're going to play 4 games with 3 teams in 2 days. That doesn't make any sense
it's James. First question, why?
I think the Warriors were pushing to make this like they wanted part of this, because that's what happened last time. But then the
how'd
Warriors
that go?
they won the championship, and like the week after their championship parade, they had to host a giant thing, and it just overworked their staff completely. This time around, I mean, clearly they have a long off season like the Kings do. So I haven't really dug into it at all. But I'm not surprised at all that there is another version of the California Classic. I just have to, make some phone calls and kind of get the laydown, the lowdown on what it's going to look like.
Oh, it was a good show. For those that missed it, the California Classic is split between Sacramento and the Bay Area. It's split between the Golden One Center and the Chase Center. When I read it at first, I was really upset, like, because I saw the Warriors game, and then I realized, they essentially split the teams, so that there still will be 3 days of basketball at the Golden One Center. It's just going to look a lot different because there's going to be 3 teams here. Yeah. There's going to be Golden State, Los Angeles, and Miami is down there. San Antonio and Charlotte are here. And then the press release, and the California Classic culminates with a matchup between the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors at the Chase Center on July 10th. And it's like, all right, like, I'll give you one. You get one. Y'all won a championship that year. That was a bad look all around. I think there were still like pandemic vibes and all of that different thing at the time. All right, y'all get one. This is it, though.
Yeah,
if y'all fall on your face again,
never again.
The California Classic is at the Golden One Center, just like Summer League is in Las Vegas.
I think so too. And that one year, the fact that they had one game, one day where there were no fans in the stands, we're like, what are you doing? But they were overwhelmed. Like they were totally overwhelmed coming off the championship. And I think
even they didn't expect to win a championship.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we'll host Summer League. This ain't our year.
Yeah. I think it's weird. I think 2 more teams need to be announced, because if not, I don't know how you do what they're planning to do. Plus, Summer League is pushed back. The California Classic is usually like the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Now it's the 6th, 7th, and 9th in Sacramento, 6th, 7th, and 10th in
Yeah, right.
in San Francisco.
Yep.
That's really weird. And then Summer League starts at 12th. That's not the way it was in the past. It's usually like the 8th is when Summer League starts. So like 4 days later than normal.
I
all
wonder
of
if
it.
that has something to do with free agency.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Let
Maybe the
free
league-
agency
yeah.
breathe a little bit
That would be
It's-
before Summer League starts.
Yeah, it's possible. That Las Vegas also had to push him out because they're planning for the Oakland A's to move there, and they have to make sure that everything is ready. So
Good luck with that, pals.
Or the Aces. Well, I guess that doesn't interfere with Summer League, though.
No.
Neither would the A's. I don't know. James is
Just
being a smart ass. James is being a smart ass.
yeah,
God damn it, James. Will you take this show seriously? James, we are a serious radio program. I don't know what you guys do on the Insiders from 10 to 12, but this is a very serious radio show we do here from 12 to 4.
we focus on hip hop diss track battles typically from
James,
10 to noon.
James, we found a stat resource site that costs $12,000 a year. That's a shoot. Yeah, that's for real. We were looking up stats and we came across this site called Statista, and yeah, they told us it was $954 a month for the professional version of the site.
Come on, man.
Wow.
We could get it for the low price of $200 a month.
Yeah, for just the
For that's the
civilian
starter
one.
kit. That's just
Yeah.
where you see numbers, you just don't know what they mean.
That's like a barista site for stats. Statista. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is
That's
Will
a tough
Z's new
pull.
secret project. I don't think we've seen Will Z all week. Now
We
I've got questions.
haven't.
He might be this might be what he's doing. He's working on this new $12,000 website he built.
He is
me
the
in on it.
Statista.
This was fun. Today was a lot of fun.